creative living, utilizing today's technology with the best of the past to bring you innovative ideas and up-to-date information for creative lifestyles in today's active world. With your host, Cheryl Borden.
Sandy, thank you so much for being here today. You and I have both been scrapbooking for many, many years, but I really have never taken it as far as you have because there's so much new technology, so many new products, new software. It's really gone into a whole new age, hasn't it?
Oh, it absolutely has. And in fact, it was when the digital die cutters came out that I really got hooked on scrapbooking and card making. They make the job so much easier because you're able to cut out all sorts of images and lettering, you know, from your cardstock or other materials.
And we'll talk about that, different things that we can actually use this for. This is an example of what we're talking about. Go ahead and explain what you've done on this.
All right, this is an overlay layout, and actually was created by a friend of mine, Susan Mast, who lives in Phoenix with me, and she uses her Klic-N-Kut for everything. But this overlay file is an 8.5 by 11, and you use it, you know, over a photograph. And a lot of the customers that come to us, this is something they really love. They love the overlays. Now, she put this on a 12 by 12, but you could also put it on an 8.5 by 11 and then just have the photo in the middle. And of course, the letters have been welded to the frame, as well as having the little palm tree, the palm leaves have been cut out along with little coconuts.
It's a whole three-dimensional look this way.
Yes.
Ooh, this one's so pretty.
This one
Looks
is
like
just
a lot
stunningly
of work.
beautiful. She used her Klic-N-Kut to cut out these rings, also the lettering, this girl, as well as all of these flowers here. And
there's several flower levels.
Yes,
layers.
there are, yes. And if you've looked at the flowers you purchase in the stores, they can get quite expensive, especially when you want to use this many on a layout. But the fact that she was able to cut out all these from her Klic-N-Kut really saved her, you know, a lot of money.
That is nice. Oh, this one's beautiful.
Yes, this is an example. Now, this lettering here, notice just how intricate it is. It is a connected letter title, which means that she took the letters and welded them together, which is something that I'm going to show you later in the software. And if you notice just how thin the lettering is, and yet these machines can handle something that's that intricate.
And you couldn't do that by hand with scissors,
That's right. Oh, never. No. Even with a craft knife, I mean, you'd have to have an incredible amount of patience. I'm not sure you could quite get it that even. She also did this ring that goes around the picture here, this lettering, and also these embellishments up here she cut on her Klic-N-Kut.
Okay, show us how we can do this.
Okay, I will do that. In the software, I have typed out just 3 letters, USA. Now then, these letters, while this particular font does show them overlapping, I want to actually make the letters a little closer together. So I'm going to use a function called kerning, and what it then allows me to do is click right here below this letter, and then I'm going to move this over to the left, so I get the letters a little bit closer together.
Put them together, like if you were really writing it, for instance.
Precisely, yes. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this A. I'm going to move it over a little bit closer. Then I make sure my entire title is selected. Now notice here, you'll see how this ligature from the U is overlapping the S, right? And the S overlapping the A.
Right.
Now if I were to cut this the way it is right now, it would cut each one of those letters separately. And it would, you know, actually cut out of the S, and that's not what you want. You want to get rid of the overlap. So we come over to our basic weld tool, and we can weld it together.
Welding, that's
and
what
that's
you call
exactly
welding.
now how it will cut.
Okay.
All right. Now then, the next thing is we could do a shadow mat. Now, I think most of the digital die cutters will do this now, where you can select it and then come in and start creating like a shadow mat, just like this, which just ends up, you know, becoming like an, you know, kind of like a well, just a background for that particular lettering. It's a little bit bigger.
You see 2 colors.
Exactly. However, one of the things I love about in this particular software program is something called 3D, the 3D shadow. And with it, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. I can select my title, and I can start dragging this out and produce something that actually looks more three-dimensional. And I can go any direction I want to with it.
I see.
So that really is going to allow you to create a title that just really pops out on your page. Now that's one example. I want to show you one more before I cut this out. I'm going to make a duplicate. And another kind of shadow I also really like is this one right here. And when you drag it out, it's going to look like a reflection. Like, say, reflection on water or something.
Or a mirror.
So that gives, or a mirror, yes, exactly. So that gives you a whole different look. And when I turn on the fill, you'll see, you know, a little bit clearer what these are going to look like. Okay?
That does give you lots of options.
It definitely does. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to cut this one out.
Okay, so you're just marking it.
Yeah, so I'm marking it. I'm going to send it to the cut window, and now I see it here. Now, obviously, I don't want to cut both colors at one time, so what I'm going to do is cut one and then cut the other.
And you've already put your paper on the mat. It's a special cutting mat.
Now, notice I don't have full 8.5 by 11 sheets of cardstock. This is another thing I love about the Klic-N-Kut is the sense that we can have scraps. You can put scraps on there, and as long as you know that the size of your lettering is going to fit on the scrap, then you can cut just from this particular scrap and then move up and cut from the other one. So I'm going to move the blade over to the front right corner, and I set the origin. And that tells it that that's going to be this corner right here where it's going to cut.
The bottom left corner.
Yes. Okay. So I set that origin. I go online. Now then, I come to this particular icon right here, which is going to allow me to cut by color. Oh. And what I'm going to turn off the blue because I don't want to cut the background yet. I only just want to cut the red.
Okay.
And then I click on Cut. All right.
Wow.
And then when it's done, then I come up to the front right corner of my blue sheet of cardstock, hit my origin, go online.
Now it's going to cut the other one.
I come back to this one, turn off red, leave blue on, and hit cut. All right, now when I'm done, I go offline, I bring the mat forward, and then I'm going to just lift off the waste.
Which I mentioned to you that I would save this and use the bottom
I have a
edges for
tendency
something.
to save it also.
Save little pieces.
And then I just very carefully.
And some of those little lines on there are a 1/16 of an inch
Absolutely.
or less.
You'll be amazed at just how thin that you can cut some of the lettering. And then, of course, this is my larger one.
The mat's has an adhesive of some type. It holds the paper.
Yes, you absolutely need the material you're cutting to stick to the mat.
Right.
That will give you much better cutting. And then I would just adhere this. Again, I can use my original on my screen as a reference, but as I recall, it goes something just like this.
Okay, that looks nice. Let's see if we can.
All right. Yeah, you want to try to hold it up?
Oh, wow. That does look like what you had on the screen. Beautiful. That shadow effect looks so good.